Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing at the Polderbaan. It is Monday, January 29th, 2024. Welcome to the show. It is another morning of arrivals over here at Schiphol Airport. Still similar weather to what we had over the weekend, although it is a bit more cloudy than it was yesterday. Hardly any wind, the sun is out, and funnily enough, the north-south runways are now all in use. The center and 18 left are being used for departures, and 18 right is being used for arrivals as the only runway at the moment. Current weather situation, what wind there is blowing from the south mostly. It is under 10 knots. We have few clouds at 1,100 feet. The temperature is 3 degrees above zero. Runway usage, and the first quad squad member is already over the Netherlands. Will be arriving soon. We have SLM, the A340, also approaching, expected around 10:45. The A321 from Transavia is at Barcelona and will return soon. 747 arriving from Nairobi, expected around 12:30, and there is the Emirates A388, of course, expected around 12:30. So that is the game plan for today. Good morning everybody who has joined us in the meantime. Hope you're doing well. Air Baltic A220 having landed just now. Good morning to everybody who has joined already. Halil, Jimmy, Arek, Evelyn, Paul, Erwin, Wolfgang, Marja, good morning to you all. Eva, goedemorgen. Mojave, good morning. Michel, salut. Danny, goedemorgen. Amy, goedemorgen. John, good morning. And you did catch a cold yesterday. That is not good, Evelyn. Make sure you rest well. That's the quickest way to ward off infections. Aloha, Jinshin. And good morning, it's me, Mike. Got a couple of narrow bodies coming in first, then a couple of heavies. This is Finnair flight 1301 arriving from Helsinki. Also some noises coming from that part, that is the source. You can see a nice delay in the speed of light and the speed of sound. Physics demonstration in action. Also tractor on the cycling path. Coming this way. And the next airplane also arriving. That's an A320. Speedbird flight 2540. Arriving from London Gatwick. 22 years old, first flight, October 2001. Mr. Meister, goedemorgen. Good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. Butt shots and fireworks. Happy New Year. Let's see, where is the bird controller? That would be over there. Was that just a one-off firecracker? I think it is. I think it was. Hey there, Janus. Good morning. Doing well. Thank you for asking. Hope the same goes for you, my friend. Harry, good morning. Another early morning for Harry, tuning in from Canada. Embraer 190, arriving from London City. KLM flight 618. Situation in the water does look like there are some birds over there in the distance. Looks like ducks. Maybe Russell. And up next is KLM flight 618, arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. This is a 7879 Dreamliner. Yo, Alvin. Morning, mate. Han, goedemorgen, kerel. Good to see you all. Hope everybody is doing alright. Now, this Dreamliner returned from Boston, having flown only 5 hours and 57 minutes. 6 years old, first flight July 2017. Let's quickly turn back. More heavies approaching. The next one being TUI flight 381, a 7878 Dreamliner arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. Behind it is Delta Airlines flight 134, which is an A330-300 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. So this airplane returning from Curaçao, Willemstad, having flown 8 hours and 43 minutes. 9 years old in total, first flight November 2014. Hey Wendy, goedemorgen. Doing well over here, thank you for asking. Hope that also goes for you over in the north. And Halil is tuning in from Istanbul. People all across the world tuning in, good morning to you all. Also departures take place to the north, that you might pick up on the mic. Alrighty, next up, Delta Airlines Flight 134, A330-300, arriving from Detroit, Michigan, 16 years old, first flight July 2007. Goedemorgen, Koen, Jan-Willem, Rod, good morning, Frits, good morning. Ciao Paula. Marius, goedemorgen. En Susan Siem ook, goedemorgen. Goedemorgen Ferrers, Dirk, goedemorgen. Now, it's all quiet over here. Got the place to myself, lovely. I think there's really nobody here other than me. Or is there? Whoa, okay, I was wrong. Fisherman? Hard to see. American Airlines Flight 204 is what we're looking at. 7878 Dreamliner returning from Philadelphia to Amsterdam, 3 years old, first flight March 2020. Right, first queen of the day, Saudia Cargo, flight 933. Coming to Amsterdam from Jeddah, where this airplane left from 5 hours and 38 minutes ago. This airplane, 29 years old, the first flight was in January 1995, ladies and gentlemen. January 1995. She's coming! Nah, that's just this digital zoom. Now, a big thank you to Alvin for your super chat. Welcome all. Drop boy a like to wish him well on his skiing holiday he rides. Well, that is definitely not necessary, my friend, but thank you so much nonetheless. Yeah, plenty of snow over there. The weather seems to be decent, if not good, so fingers crossed. I'm wishing for a lot of sunshine. We'll see. Saudia Cargo, the first queen of the show. There's more coming. So if you don't have to go anywhere, stick around. The whole quad squad is coming. That is all the quad engined airplanes that are frequenting Schiphol Airport will drop in to say hi. I think the next quad squad member is going to be Surinam Airways, the A340-300. Let me see if I have some time after this landing to show you guys on the map what is coming. EasyJet A319 arriving from Bristol up next. It's the Gatsby, 16 years old. The first flight was in June 2007. Not the Great Gatsby, but the Great Gatsby. Little butt shot to start off the day. Unfortunately, not a lot of time, not a lot of separation. The next airplane is an A320neo, also from EasyJet, arriving from London Gatwick. 45 minutes underway now. Brand new airplane, first flight July last year. And after that, KLM 773-300ER, returning from Johannesburg, South Africa. More 747s are underway, the A380 is underway. I think the next airplane of the quad squad is going to be the A340-300 Surinam Airways. Maybe after this airplane we can have a look at the map again. Don't see anything immediately behind this airplane, so that looks like a good moment to do that. This is KLM flight 592, arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa, where this airplane left from 10 hours and 30 minutes ago. 777-300ER, 7 years old, first flight February 2016. Little bit of wing fluff over the top foil. Right. The next airplane is already advancing. It is a KLM A330 returning from Canada. Quick look on the map will tell you that the next quad squad member is west of Paris, expected in 45 minutes from now, Surinam Airways A340. There's a Singapore Airlines cargo 747 underway, approaching the south of France. Expected time of arrival 11:30, and an hour later we are expecting the Emirates A380. Is there more underway? Well, these are all expected later in the day. 350, 213. The Transavia A321neo right now is in Barcelona. Will return later in the morning. Might get to see that as well before the end of the show. Plan is to stick around at least until the A380 has landed. Austrian Wolf asks which airline I am going to be flying with. Transavia. I think you can only fly Transavia or EasyJet to Innsbruck these days, at least from Amsterdam. This is KLM flight 696, Airbus A330-200 arriving from Toronto, Canada. The airplane departed from Toronto 6 hours and 35 minutes ago. The airplane is 18 years old. Its first flight was in October of the year 2005. Hey Anne, goedemorgen. Captain Eddie Bos, good evening mate. Good to see you. Harry asks, where am I going skiing? In Italy, in the Dolomites. Place called Canazei, which lies adjacent to the Sella Ronda, allowing me to ski from one area to 3 others and also have access to a glacier. See that? I have a fellow plane spotter over here, that is pilot Sander HD, setting up. Well-known YouTuber who has been at it for quite a long time already, making compilation videos of predominantly heavy traffic coming to Schiphol. Definitely worthwhile to have a look on his channel, pilot Sander HD. Our next airplane is Lufthansa flight 988, arriving from Frankfurt. A320, behind it is KLM flight 644, 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from New York JFK. And indeed I will be flying from Amsterdam, Eva. Jackie, goedemorgen kerel, good to see you. Hope all is well. And everybody else who has joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. Polderbaan arrivals, runway 18 right, currently the only runway being used for arrivals, the other north-south oriented runways being used for departures. Earlier this morning, we saw the first Queen arrive not too long ago. The entire quad squad is coming in. The next member of the quad squad is going to be the Surinam Airways A340-300. That is expected around 10:45 local time. Local time you can see in the bottom left corner of your screen, next to the ticker. Another 747 from Singapore expected 11:30, and the Emirates A380 expected around 12:30 local time. This is KLM flight 644, 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from New York JFK. 3 years old, first flight May 2020. Hey Miss Wolves, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well on your end of the North Sea. Now, speeding Heijmans van. The sun is out. We also have contrails in the sky. This one is moving away from me. Yeah, that's a twin. Is there anything coming towards me? Well, on the northwest side of me there is something approaching that will pass north of me. It is in the right part of the sky with the lighting from the sun behind us so that we can see it a bit better. If I would have to venture a guess, I would say Qatar, Dreamliner, question mark, or triple. Looking at the tail, this definitely looks like Qatar. Maybe a little bit of additional zoom. No, this is too pixelated. And that's the full 400. 400 times digital zoom in addition to the optical zoom. This is more moderate. So this airplane is now almost directly north of me, still a bit west. Moving from west to east, a little bit from north to south, I would say. It does look a lot like... Yeah, that's Qatar, isn't it? Nearly certainly. Now, following that contrail made us miss the landing of a KLM 737. Apologies for that. I know that this is a very exceptionally rare vehicle that you don't see very often. Russell and Cheryl also back at it. And Qatar, indeed, the 777. Thanks for confirming that, guys. As you guys know, when the camera is pointing up, my phone screen, which is attached to my camera, is pointing down, so won't be able to see your chat messages, unfortunately, when I'm pointing the camera directly up. This is TUI flight 375. Returning from Punta Cana, 787-8 Dreamliner, Dutch registered, the TFK, 9 years old, first flight May 2014. Hey Afrodite, goedemorgen. Right, let's see. Also a massive big thank you to John, who just now gifted 10 more memberships. Added to the pond of members already here. Thank you so much for that, John. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you, John. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new members. Don't forget to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal whenever you feel like it. And next up is going to be a Chinese 777. There we go, China Cargo Airlines, flight 209, arriving from Shanghai. 777 freighter, left Shanghai 10 hours 58 minutes ago. Brand new airplane, the first flight was in June 2023. It's coming, duck! Now there's 3 crows on 1 lantern. If they stay put, I will show you after this landing. I think I am seeing an airplane depart from the center runway. You can hear it as well. Alrighty. And 2 have gone. Now there's just 1. There were 3. SAS A320 arriving from Stockholm, flight 1553. Squeaky brake. More traffic passing overhead. Outbound to the north. And the next airplane on Polderbaan touching down, arriving for Copenhagen, is an EasyJet A319. See. Looks like there's an A330 going to Atlanta. We'll be taking off around let's see. Was looking a bit around on flight radar. Apologies for sounding a bit absent-minded. Was trying to see what was going on at runway 18 center. which is now being used for departures to the south, parallel to this runway being used for arrivals. Now the upshot of this runway configuration is that so long as it is in place with the prevailing wind, it is very likely that this is going to stay the only runway for the time being. However, I think that the center runway is going to be used both as secondary for arrivals and for departures. Now with the outbound peak doing departures and later in the morning probably arrivals. Again, this is the Trade Air full colorful livery with no hints of it flying for Croatia Airlines, but it is actually a flight for Croatian flying from Zagreb to Amsterdam. There's another version where just the tail is colored. However, this is the one with the full colors, so to speak. Next up is going to be Tarum, arriving from Bucharest. Today the 737-800 is doing the flight. And another departure over here, passing overhead. This is Tarum Flight 361, the 737-800 arriving from Bucharest, where it left from 2 hours and 27 minutes ago. The airplane is 6 years old, first flight April 2017. Coming next after this airplane on Polderbaan is the airplane that yesterday had a white nose tip. KLM Dreamliner returning from Cartagena. A330 having taken off from center. Next up, KLM Flight 741 arriving from Cartagena. Today a different airplane than yesterday, 787-10 Dreamliner. Flight time 9 hours and 2 minutes. A 4-year-old airplane that had its first flight in November 2019. Right, let's have a look. There's a lot of activity going on with no heavies going to center for departure. We do hear some fireworks being set off further in the distance. Let's see, where is that emanating from? Gotcha. Seems that each time I point the camera to the bird control vehicle, they stop setting off the fireworks. Ha! Alright, well, if that's the game you guys want to play, so be it. Right, next up, E2 KLM flight 1352 arriving from the Czech Republic from Prague. Right, let's turn around. Maskargo A332 arriving from Doha up next. Flight 6126. Flight time 6 hours and 37 minutes as we speak. Airbus A332 freighter, 11 years old, first flight March 2012. Look a little bit like an overweight person who has a bit of excess fat below the chin. It's like a second chin, isn't it? Now, up next is an airplane that has the potential to get loud, but not always is loud. So fingers crossed that today we might get lucky. Air Mexico Flight 25, the Dreamliner arriving from Mexico City. This is a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner having departed from Mexico City 9 hours and 18 minutes ago. The airplane 9 years old, first flight February 2014. Hey Gosse, morgen kerel. Alles lekker? Werken, ja. Moet ook gebeuren, Gosse. Hey Tiger, good morning, good to see you. Hope all is well. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You're watching MS Live. My name is Boy and this is the Polderbound runway 18 ride. At the moment the only runway being used for arrivals. Departures take place from the two other north-south oriented runways, and departures to the north are also passing by along here, which you might pick up on the mic. The quad squad will be coming in full today. We already had one 747 that arrived earlier, and in 20 or so minutes from now the next Quad Squad member is expected. Let me take you through the map after this landing. Thought maybe I could do it beforehand, but I think that is a bit tight. We have the A340 from Surinam expected in, what is it, 20 to 25 minutes or so from now. There is a Singapore Airlines 747 arriving around 11:30, so in an hour from now, and in 2 hours from now around 12:30 the Emirates A388 will also land. Now there's also the Transavia A321Neo. Which is currently at Barcelona. Schönefeld. Sehr schön. It's a beautiful day over here, as you guys can see. The sun is out. In fact, I think the sun is getting out more than at the beginning of the stream, when there were a bit more cirrus clouds. But looking all around, this is looking to the east, and this is looking to the south. Now the water is like a mirror. Two suns, 2 for 1. There you go. Looking to the west. Looking up, you can also see Contrail and Contrail remnants. And visibility to the north also getting better, glide slope shots. High pitch. Or at least that is what it seemed like. Now the nose lowering. Also hearing birds chirp. Speedbird and BRU 190 having arrived from London City. Now, once again, a massive big thank you to John, who just now gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, John. If you're one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you to John. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new members. As you guys can see, Surinam is off the coast and is expected soon. We have Singapore Airlines over there. We have the Transavia that has come back alive on the radar. And we have the Emirates A380 all on the way, expected around or before 12:30 local time. Local time is visible in the bottom left of the screen next to the ticker. This is an EasyJet arriving from London Stansted. A319. If you like that airplane type, you're in luck. The next one is also an A319. You can also see the next airplane behind it in the far left. That is Turkish Flight 1951. That is an Airbus A330. In the foreground, British Airways Flight 430. Arriving from London Heathrow, Airbus A319. Flight time 42 minutes, that is par for the course. Normally London, Amsterdam, always around 40 to 45 minutes. This A319 is 20 years old. The first flight was in December 2003. Yo, Alan, morning. Rick, morning. And indeed, it is a fabulous day over here. Started off a little cold. Had to de-ice the front window of my car. The rest was condensed water, condensated water. But now with the sun out and as good as no wind, perfectly lovely day. Let's have a look at the British Airman. Good morning. Now, Hans says slow-mo airlines near the coast. Yeah, absolutely. We saw it on flight radar. Let me zoom out. Can we see it visually, perhaps? Where is it? Hard to see, hard to see. We do see that there is a 777 coming this way, having just departed and outbound to Shanghai, I think. Which we might also pick up after this airplane has landed. Turkish Airlines flight 1951, returning from Istanbul. From one airplane to the next. Outbound Chinese triple to Shanghai. Right, let's turn back so that my cables don't get tangled. There you go. Right, quick look up in the sky. There is a contrail passing to the northeast-ish, a bit east of me. Hard to make out any details other than that it is looking like a twin jet. Departures taking place from 18 center, which we can also see from over here. Hadi Gerrit, goedemorgen. KLM flight 986. Embraer 190, returning from London City. 15 years old, first flight, January 2009. And a nice variation in narrow bodies up next. So this is the Embraer 190. We have a 737-300 behind it. And after that, an A319. All right. Oh, sounds like a big bird is taking off from center. KLM flight 1926, arrival from Geneva, 7378-100. Photobombed in a moment by the bird controller. That just passed me by. Was indeed what looks like a 777 that just spooled up from the center runway. That was United Airlines flight 21 777-200 outbound to Washington. No, Houston. Let's see, more traffic outbound. A330 to Detroit, but there is still a bunch of narrow bodies. Now there's also a narrow body coming over here. There's also, I think, a quad Contrail going to Germany or maybe even Dubai. Let's see, that looks like a 747. Is that Lufthansa? Hard to see. Won't be a lot of 747s over the province of North Holland. Flying more or less to the southeast. Ooh, nice. An unexpected bonus crossing. Crossage. Oh, that was a nice one. Next up, an E2 Embraer KLM flight 1954 returning from Zurich. 1-year-old airplane, first flight March 2022. Hey Liewe, goedemorgen kerel. Good to see you mate, hope all is well. Hope you've had a good weekend. Now, I sure hope that Jerry will also visit today. Saw that I missed 10 gifted memberships by him yesterday when I was receiving my beautiful painting from Evelyn. Saw that Paul tried to remind me in the chat, but I didn't see it. The downside is, and it's not an excuse, I'm just trying to tell you what things look like on my end. My window, my chat window does show super chats and stuff, but they don't get pinned at the top like when you would watch a live stream on YouTube via your computer via a browser. So if I don't see it when it is in the window, it's gone and there's no reminder that something happened. Also, the app that I'm using, the program that I'm using on my computer, Ecamm Live, doesn't show those highlighted messages pinned or anything. So if it's gone, it's gone. If I missed it, then I won't know it took place. So I only saw it after the fact yesterday evening, reading back the chat. If you are one of the recipients of Jerry's 10 memberships, Don't forget to say thank you next time he's in the chat if you haven't done so already. That is the downside of weekends, Liebe. They are very short. Over before you know it. They really should make it mandatory to have it the other way around. Have a 5-day weekend and a 2-day working week. Ooh, twin jet moving just away from me, west to east, around the same level as I am right now. Oh, and there's also something spooling up. Is there something interesting coming this way? Not yet. The next airplane is a 737. The one after that, the A350. Don't want to miss that, but yeah. A330 taking off from runway center. That's probably the Delta that I saw earlier. Such a slowly retracting landing gear, takes ages. But at least it's climbing faster than its sibling. Speaking of that, that is also expected in a few minutes. Eva asks about duckies. Well, I think the only birds that I saw in the water were past the bridge earlier. Not seeing any movement right now. Pilot Sander also here. No duckies in the water, otherwise, at least not in my direct vicinity that I have seen. Next up is Delta Airlines Flight 74. It is an Airbus A350-900 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. This airplane departed from Atlanta 7 hours and 26 minutes ago. 5-year-old airplane, first flight March 2018. Alrighty, our next airplane is going to be Qatar Airways, a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner. Also something coming directly towards me, or maybe just south of me. What is that? Is that Delta? That might well be Delta. Almost in the zenith, but passing just south, so I think I might be able to continue following it. Gently walking around my tripod. That is Delta. Unmistakably. That might even form a nice thumbnail, or that coincidental crossing that we saw earlier. Right. Qatar Airways 7878 Dreamliner, having returned from Doha to Amsterdam after 6 hours and 29 minutes, landed here in Amsterdam. Right, now, up next, two Neos. First up, Pegasus A321 Neo arriving from Istanbul. Behind it is ITA Flight 108. That's an A320 Neo arriving from Rome. Behind it, can we see that as well? Or not yet? Possibly not yet. And now number 3 is going to be another airplane arriving from Paris, Charles de Gaulle 737-800 from KLM. But this is Pegasus Flight 1251 A321 Neo arriving from Istanbul. The airplane 3 years old, first flight October 2020. This airplane now airborne for 3 hours and 10 minutes, 11 minutes. Oink oink, the fly pig has landed. See that Aphrodite has to go. Thank you for joining, Aphrodite. Enjoy the rest of your day. Another tractor coming this way, which you will see once it has passed. Beautiful Azzurro from ITA Airways. This is an A320 Neo arriving from Rome, flight 108. Brand new airplane, first flight March 2023. And 2 hours and 4 minutes underway. As long as the airplane doesn't cross a lot of time zones, I can look at the departure time and the arrival time. And even though I don't see the actual flight time anymore because of the bug, I can still mention it. What a lovely, beautiful blue airplane. Little Italian Roodborsttapuit. Ohio, Hazy, tuning in from Japan. Welcome to the show. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome as well. Right, 737 has landed. The next quad squad member is coming this way, and this is Surinam Airways flight 994, Airbus A340-300. On its way now for 8 hours and 23 minutes to get from Paramaribo in Surinam in South America to the Netherlands to Amsterdam. This airplane is 15 years old. First flight was in April 2008. It's the second member of the quad squad. We already had the 747 arrive, and we are going to see another 747 expected in 45 minutes from now, and an hour after that we are going to see the Emirates A380 as well around 12:30. And that next 747 is expected around 11:30. So if You don't have to be anywhere. Sit back and relax. The Quad Squad coming to Amsterdam this morning and early afternoon. Right, the blow dryer express. Right, well, it was a dirty airplane. Maybe it can go through the Amsterdam Schiphol car wash, get clean again before flying back to Surinam later. Think the center runway is going to be used for arrivals. I thought I saw the first airplane on the glide slope already for center. Not unexpectedly. Next up is an Embraer 175 returning from Norwich. Good morning, Blackburst. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Now, another massive big thank you to John for just now gifting yet another 5 memberships. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Those new members, make sure to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal. And once again, thank you so much, John, for adding 5 more new members to the Aurora Sky Lounge. It's getting busy. The seats are comfy. Sit back and relax. And let's look at the landing of KLM Flight 1516. Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich. And a half decent wheelie. Not too bad, not too bad. And good morning, Rift Times. Liberty Split asks, is this the Polderbaan? It certainly is. And this is KLM Flight 758, arriving from Panama City, a 787-10 Dreamliner. Having flown 9 hours and 26 minutes on this flight, the airplane is brand new, meaning less than a year old, and this airplane's first flight was last year in May. So it is still very much a baby. An oversized baby. Evidence says that the A321neo is airborne, and that's good news. Returning from Barcelona, so yeah, probably expected not too long after the A380 has landed. Oh, 12:33 even. There you go. Well, around the same time as the A380. We know how that worked out yesterday. Not too good for seeing the A380 up close. Now, runway center now having been converted to a runway for arrivals, and this is a KLM airplane or at least I should say a Transavia airplane flying a KLM flight. And if you look closely, you will see that this is not the latest standard livery, but the previous iteration with the rainbow around the fuselage in the front. The Crow crew also coming. It's like I'm in a Hitchcock movie all of a sudden. Now, this airplane has the potential to be loud. It is a 737 from Ryanair, arriving from Dublin, flight 420. Ryanair pilots often use their reversers, however, not always. So, fingers crossed, let's look and listen. Nope. Not today, but that's okay. We'll see it return plenty of times. Airplane coming towards me, Contrail, moving from northeast to southwest. Still north and east of me, but approaching soon. Obviously a twin jet. Yeah, that's too much digital zoom. Let's stick halfway. As you guys can see, it is nearing my zenith. Now, I am also hearing turboprops. And that is directly overhead. And moving away from me to the north, also a little bit of contrail by the looks of it. Pilates or something? Oh. Lucky it produces contrails. No, this is a quad. Okay, this is military. I will see your messages soon enough. In the meantime, we're missing out on EasyJet Airbuses. Not a lot lost, if you ask me. Hope you guys don't mind. It's been a while, well, yesterday of course, but since being able to follow some contrails. Belgian Airforce A400. Okay, awesome, cool. And back to ground level traffic, or at least low level traffic, just in time to see KLM flight 636, a 7879 Dreamliner that is arriving from Las Vegas. Flight time 9 hours and 19 minutes. 8-year-old airplane, first flight January 2016. Right, the Crow crew deciding to pass low over the runway. Shortly before the arrival of a big bird. Hopefully they get out of the way soon enough. Right, I'm hearing another turboprop overhead. Though this one is not producing a contrail by the looks of it. I'm also not seeing anything. No. Have to pass on this one. We'll have to wait a little bit for the next airplane to pull the baan, which gives us some time to focus in on traffic to the center runway. This airplane being KLM flight 1142, arriving from Oslo. Now, Embraer 190, flight time 1 hour and 33 minutes. The airplane is 12 years old. The first flight was in January 2012. And I believe that there is a quad jet coming my way from the direction of Frankfurt/Munich. Probably an A340 by the looks of it, looking at the wing shape and angle versus the fuselage. Definitely not a 747, it's also not an A380, i.e. it has to, almost certainly has to be an A340. Right. Right. That hurt my shoulder a little bit from holding my arm so high so for such an extended period of time. Right, that was shoulder training for me. German Airways Embraer 190 returning from Bristol, flying for KLM as flight 1050, now touching down. The airplane is 16 years old. The first flight was in January 2008, so this airplane turned 16 this month. Wolfgang, the ribs are perfectly fine. I've been quite well already for several weeks. Only when sneezing do I feel it a little bit. Only a little bit. Right, 747 on its way to the east, to the west. From west to east, flying north of me. However, I'm going to focus on the big bird that is now approaching the center runway. Not in the retro livery, but in the standard livery. Garuda Indonesia, flight 88, arriving from Jakarta. 777-300ER, flight time, strap in 14 hours 30 minutes. Not the longest flight worldwide, but definitely up there. 14 hours and 30 minutes. The PKGIF, the GIF. The airplane is 9 years old. The first flight was in April 2014. Stupid airplanes on Polderbaan, getting in the way. Hey Jerry. Jerry says I just woke up in my chair with an empty bottle of Jägermeister in my lap. What day is it? It is Monday. And also Jerry, a belated big thank you for your 10 gifted memberships yesterday. I already mentioned it earlier in the chat. Hope that Jerry comes in the chat today so I can still thank him. Saw it yesterday after re-watching the stream to go through the chat. The gifted memberships you gave were happening just when I was receiving Evelyn's painting and I didn't see it. I did see that Paul tried to remind me, but that I also missed. So thank you so much for those 10 memberships, Jerry. And I hope that every recipient will thank you for it. Said it before, I don't see the highlighted messages pinned like you would when watching YouTube and having the live chat on the YouTube page. I do see highlighted messages in my chat window on my phone and also in Ecamm Live that I'm using to live stream, but they don't get pinned. So if I don't see it when they are in the picture and the message flow goes quickly, they're gone and I won't know that it has occurred. Art and memberships, always welcome. Well, cheers again, mate. Thank you so much. Glide slope shots, also possible today, although not as crisp as yesterday. Yesterday was next level. A couple of 4 airplane glide slope shots even. Iberia Express arriving from Madrid. And good morning to Amy. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime as well. Good morning to you all. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. At the moment parallel arrivals take place. Just remember that I also need to update the ticker in terms of runway usage. Let's have a look at the quad squad arrivals. Singapore Airlines cargo is approaching, expected around 11:30 still, so in 20 minutes from now, an hour after that, we are expecting the Emirates A380 that is in the vicinity of Vienna. Also returning to Amsterdam is the Transavia A321neo, expected shortly before the Emirates A380. Current runway usage. And let me update the ticker. Take the weather along again as well. It's KVK, 6 degrees Celsius, little bit of wind, sub 10 knots from the south mostly. And the next airplane to land first is number 190, arriving from London City, KLM flight 984. 10-year-old airplane, first flight December 2013. PDK, goedemorgen, good morning. Our next airplane is JetBlue A321neo, arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. Let me quickly edit the ticker. Right, arrivals 18 right, 18 C, and of course the METAR. JetBlue flight 631 arriving from Boston, Massachusetts, where it left from 6 hours and 10 minutes ago. A321neo, 2 years old, first flight June 2021. More quads coming my way. Up in the sky, up in the sky. That is a 747. Lufthansa. That's in the zenith, flying directly overhead. Can I continue following it once it has crossed to the other side. Looking at the wing shape, that is a 7478. With the sun behind me, the lighting is perfect to see the details insofar as we can see them. Going a bit mental with the digital zoom, all out 400. This is back to the optical zoom range, which is a little bit too little. Right, lovely day for contrail spotting as well. Right, let's have a look. No airplanes immediately coming this way. Where has the triple arriving from? Cape Town. To which runway has it been assigned? I'm also looking around. No runway inspection going on by the looks of it. So this is KLM flight 1764. We are now looking at arriving from Frankfurt. This is a 737-700. Flight time 49 minutes. 12-year-old airplane. First flight May 2011. Is the 777 KLM flight 598 coming to this runway? And the A330 from Bonaire? Or are they going to the center runway? Right, lovely day here, still, sun out, contrails everywhere, similar to yesterday. They are perfectly visible, and oh, there's that little bird that I saw yesterday too. And gone, and back. And gone. Bit lower, well, and gone onto the next branch. Pedestrian coming. Not sure what kind of bird it is, but it is a lovely one. Right, I'm seeing that the triple arriving from Cape Town is on the glide slope, somewhere to the north, being preceded by number 190 arriving from Southampton, which is the airplane that we see right now. Oh yeah, if you look at 8 o'clock-ish, Left hand side you will see the 777 that is approaching. First up on the right hand side, KLM flight 918 Embraer 190 KLM City Hopper arriving from Southampton. Flight time 43 minutes. 13-year-old airplane, first flight March 2010. Hey, Mr. Biker, good morning, Paul. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Up next, KLM flight 598, returning from Cape Town, South Africa, at Boeing 777-300ER. This airplane has been flying 11 hours and 25 minutes to get from Cape Town to where it is right now. Has been flying in total now for 11 years. First flight was in May 2012. The airplane behind it, A330 KLM flight 767, arriving from Bonaire, and behind it is going to be an Iceland Air Max 8 arriving from Reykjavik. The Singapore Airlines Cargo 747, I'm assuming it is already in Dutch airspace. The question is it already known what runway it's been assigned to? Let's use a little bit of digital zoom. Get that beast in bigger. Big John asks an interesting question and asks, what is the oldest plane you guys have seen on here? I think that has to be the DC-3 Dakota, 79 years old. Used for round trips in the summer season. Nice curvy contrail. Cutting corners in this airplane. Yeah, it's not the best quadrant to look at contrails. More's coming from over there with the sun behind us. That is illuminated better. Right, already audible. KLM flight 767. Airbus A330-300 returning from Bonaire. The B in the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, off the coast of Venezuela and the Caribbean Sea. Flight time 9 hours 2 minutes. Flight airplane age is 11 years. The first flight was in March 2012. Michael says, hey, Newcastle calling. Ring, ring. Somebody pick up the phone. Alrighty, E2 Embraer arriving from Brussels, flying left of me according to flight radar. Can I see it somewhere? Shouldn't be too far away. They are of course quiet buggers, so absolutely no clue where I need to look. We'll see it soon enough, hopefully. Any news yet about the 747, folks? What runway it has been assigned to? Eversteria asks if it is possible to see some old fuckers during summer too. Not that I know of. With the exception of the Aviodrome Airplane Museum and the Fokker 100 that is on the rooftop terrace of the Panorama, well, the Panorama rooftop terrace of Schiphol itself. I don't know of any still flying old fuckers that are used for tours or anything else. I was already surprised that we saw a Fokker 100 not too long ago from the, what was it, Slovakian government or something, or state airline company. Emirates A380 moving west to east, northeast of me already. Clearly distinguishable. That's the full 400 times digital zoom. This is more back to the top end of the optical zoom range. Now, Singapore Airlines cargo is also out there somewhere. It should be flying somewhere over there, but really I'm not seeing it. The pattern it is flying does seem to indicate that it will be landing on Polderbaan. Fingers crossed. Evelyn has confirmed it. Assigned to Polderbaan. Excellent. And Liewe, indeed, I heard Lance Cole mention it before. Still plenty of Fokkers to see down under. Alrighty, KLM flight 1072 up next, arriving from Manchester, 737-800, flight time 49 minutes. The PH BXD. She's 24. Her first flight was in August 1999. It is a millennial. Hey Jean-Yves, salut mon ami. Good to see you again. are remarkably small wheels, the nose gear wheels, aren't they? Just noticed it. Contrails galore. Maybe a BizJet over there, flying away from me. Not sure. Not able to see quite well. Bit bigger plane, a bit more to the north. Also flying west to east. Here we can make out a bit more detail. A330 question mark. Right, back to traffic at Polderbaan. This is the E2 that I tried to see but didn't. The E2 Embraer arriving from Brussels, KLM flight 1724. Brussels, a measly 89 nautical miles away from Amsterdam, and this flight having taken 25 minutes thus far. The airplane is new, celebrated its first birthday this month, began flying in January 2023. I waved first. This time I saw that he was looking. So I thought, let's trigger a wave. Now, for the first time, a bit more cloudiness seems to be floating in from the west that we did not see before. Looking to the east, you can still see contrails galore. Also, a quad coming this way from Germany by the looks of it. Another one of those angles where the lighting for the contrail illumination is perfect. Now, I have to keep an eye out for what is happening where. Looking on my phone screen on flight radar, because the 747 is now number 3. Embraer 190, Embraer 175 preceding it. Gives me a few minutes to watch this quad jet come closer by, which I think might be worth it. And then in time back to the north to the Singapore Airlines Cargo 747 arriving from Nairobi. Right, let's go all out. 400 times digital zoom, pixelated AF. Is that an A340? I would say, if I had to call it, I would say this is an A340. Right, the Embraer 190 in the meantime has landed. Right. The next quad squad member approaching inside Singapore Airlines Cargo, flight 7343 arriving from Nairobi, being preceded by an Embraer 175 from KLM. And Austrian Wolf says the A340-600 to Chicago. Awesome. Now the Singapore Airlines Cargo arriving from Nairobi in the top left has been flying for 8 hours and 44 minutes to get from Nairobi to where it is right now. The 747-400 is 23 years old. The first flight was in September 2000. I will just quickly have a look at the touchdown. Right, and back to the 747 it is. Singapore Airlines, the second queen of the show. The third member of the Quad Squad arriving to Polderbaan, and in an hour from now, not only the A321neo from Transavia will return from Barcelona, but also the Emirates A380 arriving from Dubai. Last time we checked, it was expected around 12:30. Let's also use that digital zoom a little bit to get the Queen in a bit bigger. Hopefully she's heavy. Hopefully she's going to get loud. Let's look and listen. Not the loudest, but definitely not the quietest. Beautiful to see. And as she vacates the runway, let's have a look and see how the spoilers go down and the flaps retract. Hopefully soon. Now, massive big thank you to John for just now gifting yet another 5 memberships. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to thank John. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, new members. Be sure to use the custom emojis at your disposal as you see fit. Thank you once again, John, for adding 5 new members to the Aurora Sky Lounge member club. And welcome once again, new members. Oh, I wanted to zoom out, then all of a sudden the digital zoom went overboard. Wanted to go back to the L737 that landed just now from arriving from Tel Aviv. Rockstar Sama asks, what was the loudest aircraft you witnessed? Well, a couple of landings with the reversers have been loud, and that can be all kinds of airplanes. Looking at departures, I think that the Fokker 100 spooling up was one of the loudest that I've seen in the last year or so. That was absolutely bonkers, but that is one of those low bypass, old school, loud fuel guzzling turbofans. Now, in the meantime, I don't see any traffic coming to the other runway anymore. There is not a lot of traffic coming to Polderbaan, but everything that is arriving seems to be coming to Polderbaan right now. If that is going to be the case, I hope it's going to stay that way at least until 12:30, which is not a given beforehand. It does look like runway usage has changed again in favor of everything going to Polderbaan. Runway 18 right for arrivals. Arriving right now is an Embraer 175 KLM flight 1154 arriving from Gothenburg. This airplane is 6 years old. The first flight was in November 2017. Got another airplane coming directly towards me. A twin jet this time round. And oh, also one has passed just south of me. Now entering the part of the sky where the sun is behind us. Makes for better visibility. That looks like Lufthansa. Is that a Dreamliner? Can't say for sure. Oh. And the one airplane of KLM in the still previous standard livery has just landed. What's the difference, you might wonder? The white and blue. Still in a straight line from front to back, where in the latest iteration it is more like a smile, curvy. Let's have a look. The next airplane coming is still a bit out. I think it's time to do another update of the current status quo. In terms of the wind, has opened up a little bit. Was from the southeast earlier, now from the south, still less than 10 knots, 9 knot wind. Still CAV okay, meaning ceiling and visibility are okay. That means that the lower, in this case 5,000 feet around the airport, no significant clouds or significant weather is taking place. I'm copying it so that I can also paste the weather in the meter, in the ticker for you guys. The air temperature 7 degrees Celsius, the dew point 4 degrees Celsius, the air pressure 1025 hectopascals, and no significant changes in the upcoming 2 hours are expected. Runway usage. Once again, switch center runway, now secondary for departures. We are standing approximately over here alongside the Polderbaan, which is now again the only runway being used for arrivals, and departures take place from the other two north-south oriented runways. The final member of the Quad Squad has just entered German airspace, is still expected around 12:30, the Emirates A380, and in the vicinity of Paris and Versailles we see the A321neo from Transavia that is also expected around the same time as the Emirates A380. Let me quickly paste that meter in the ticker, the weather, and also update runway usage so that the ticker is once again completely up to date. 18 left, and add to that 18C and get 18C out of the arrivals. There we go. Right. Next up, A320 arriving from London Luton, EasyJet flight 22515, flight time 39 minutes, 5-year-old airplane, first flight June 2018. This has the registration GUZHH, Guz, or something similar. No, first time around that the airplane does no longer seems to be illuminated by the sun. Getting a bit more cloudy. No rain has been expected. No rain is expected for the next couple of days, I think. Maybe a few droplets on Thursday. Nothing substantial. Most of Europe still under the influence of a big area of high pressure. Also a big thank you to Ivor, hopefully I pronounce your first name properly, for just becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Ivor. Thank you for your support. Enjoy the custom emojis now at your disposal. And I see that Alvin is back and also Sarah is back. Good morning. And everybody else who has joined in the meantime, welcome too. Monday morning, Amsterdam live at Schiphol Airport, Polderbaan. 2 airplanes coming to Polderbaan at the moment. First up, KLM Flight 1754, Embraer 190 arrival from Bremen, KLM City Hopper. The airplane has been flying for 34 minutes to get to where it is right now and has been flying in total now for 10 years since October 2013. The airplane in the background is a Ryanair 737-800 arrival from Dublin. The windmill in the background, just left of center, hardly spinning, while the windmills that you're going to see in a moment appearing from the right are spinning a bit faster. Something we saw yesterday as well. Not exactly sure why that is, but it's the same as it was yesterday. Alrighty, next up Ryanair Flight 3006, 737-800 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Flight time 1 hour 5 minutes. 18-year-old airplane, first flight November 2005. And Austrian Wolf says that Michael wants to know for his son where you would go to take photos in Schiphol. He will be out tomorrow. Well, depending on the runway usage, but assuming that Polderbaan will still be used, then I think the place to be is where I am standing right now. Outbound, yeah, that's a difficult one because the runway usage normally under these conditions would be Kaagbaan, Aalsmeerbaan, runway 24, runway 18 left. Today it has been the center runway. 18 left also has a spotter's plaats. I think if you go to Google Maps, you can even find it if you Google for Spotter's Plaats Aalsmeerbaan. Also depends on your mode of transport. If you're coming by car, then everything is accessible. If you're coming by foot or have to use public transportation or by bike, it is much more difficult. So there's not a simple answer to the question. But this is ordinarily your best bet to see airplanes up close, unobstructedly, along a runway that is most likely going to be in use. Although, as you guys recall, I have also been here and was setting up when the runway closed down. But I'm not expecting that anytime soon. Our next airplane is an A350. It is the World to Fly Corendon A350 hybrid. Well, can you call it a hybrid livery? It is a World to Fly livery with a Corendon name, very small, in very small print. Mostly World to Fly. A350 returning from Curaçao Willemstad. Flight time 8 hours 45 minutes. A 1-year-old airplane that began flying in April 2022, so almost turning 2. The airplane behind it, 777-300ER, KLM Flight 792, returning from Rio de Janeiro. Right, I'm going to turn back because next up is going to be the PHBVD. The PHBVA being the Orange Pride, the PHBVD is the 777-300ER in the SkyTeam livery. KLM Flight 792, returning from Sao Paulo. Moped on the cycling path. This airplane 10 hours and 38 minutes underway from Sao Paulo to where it is right now. 14 years old, first flight August 2009. Too bad that the sun is hiding behind clouds. That livery would have shown, would have looked better. So much more if the sun was shining on it. Jajas Aviation asks if the Kaagbaan has a spotter's place. Well, not officially, but you can get close to the southwestern threshold of the runway. There is a patch of grass where you can do some imaging and filming. Mind you, Kaagbaan will close for an extended period of time soon, somewhere I believe in mid-April. Mid-February, I think, February 19th or something. Bezoek Bus has the details. Major maintenance, and the runway will close from mid-February until the end of April. So if you're planning on visiting Schiphol and your plan is to go to the Polderbaan, unless you visit before or after that period, the runway is going to be closed for major maintenance in that period. KLM Flight 1008, this is returning from London Heathrow, and up next is going to be KLM Flight 1546, arriving from Leeds, and after that, another potentially loud airplane. An A330. Downside is, it is a KLM A330. KLM pilots don't use that reverser very often. First up, KLM Flight 1546, arriving from Leeds, Embraer 190, 50 minutes of flight time. The airplane 9 years old, first flight February 2014. Right, little Lufthansa and then it is back to the A330 that is up next. The next airplane, KLM Flight 656, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. An Airbus A330-300. Already close by. There she is. Flight time 7 hours and 39 minutes. The airplane is 11 years old. The first flight was in January 2013, so this airplane has turned 11 this month. The airplane behind it is another heavy, arriving from Rio de Janeiro, 777-200 from KLM, flight 706. And another heavy is coming after that, a 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Nice little wheelie. Right. Wind has picked up ever so slightly. A little bit of ripples over here in the water for the first time. Chimney smoke. Not significantly different from what it was earlier. Two airplane glide slope shot, two heavies. Boeing 777-200 in the foreground, arriving from Rio de Janeiro, and a Dreamliner arriving from Atlanta in the background. In the foreground, KLM Flight 706, arriving from Rio de Janeiro, 777-200ER. Flight time 10 hours and 40 minutes. The airplane is 20 years old already, the 777 on the right. The first flight November 2003. Quite an oldie. Hey Michael, morning mate. Good to see you. You already missed a few Quad Squad members, but the Emirates A380 is still expected. And another day of beautiful contrails as well today. Happy to see the sun return. The cloud has passed. Pity that it didn't shine when the PHBVD passed by. That always gives an additional dimension to the airplanes in the SkyTeam livery. Now, this might be the airplane that we saw return from Cartagena yesterday with a white nose tip. That was a 787-10 Dreamliner, and this 787-10 Dreamliner is arriving from Atlanta, Georgia right now. KLM flight 622. Flight time 7 hours and 15 minutes. The airplane a year old, first flight June 2022. Indeed, John, the Flying MS Live logo. Although each time I check to see if it is a proper copy, I notice that the flex in the wings is inadequate. So they're just low-grade copies of the true AMS Live logo that you see in the bottom right. And what is up with the white nose? Well, yesterday this airplane arrived from Cartagena in Colombia, so you take a guess what it might have been. Zinc cream, indeed. Duh, it's summer over there. We all know the sun can be searing in Colombia and also in Atlanta. Now, is this Steven Seagull or is this Sarah the Seagull? Hard to see. First, let's go to autofocus. What's up, buddy? Insert your funny background music here. I thought I saw movement there, but I didn't. Embraer 175 arriving from Hamburg, KLM flight 1780. This one was spontaneous. Normally speaking, I only wave when waved upon, except the one time just now earlier. Right, so that area of cloud seems to have passed further to the east. Now looking to the west again, it looks as it did before, a bit nebulous but nothing substantial. You can clearly see a border, an end to that more cloudiness. Looking to the north, west and north, it looks very similar to what it was before. Our friendly neighborhood also patrolling up and down the runway. Cycling path, miniature runway. Next up, Embraer 190 arriving from London City, KLM flight 988, 36 minutes underway, par for the course, 13-year-old airplane, first flight August 2010. Let's do a little bit of zoom, there we go. Right, so in 30 or so minutes from now, the Emirates A380 will land somewhere at Schiphol Airport. As soon as it enters Dutch airspace, we can see the runway it will be assigned to. Fat chance that it's going to go to center. Fingers crossed it's going to go to Polderbaan. That looks like a no reverser landing. Rightly so, long runway, long taxi ahead, so roll out, keep up the speed, get to the gate as quickly as possible. Right, Happy New Year. Where is birth control? The answer is right here. One of the VWs, if not the only VW, I believe K2, 3 and 4 are actually Ranger Raptors. I believe this is the only VW. That's K1 most likely, if I recall correctly. Now, each time I hear banging and point my camera to the bird controller, they stop setting off fireworks. Well, with the exception of that one round just now. Fine. I'll turn back then. Well, not before looking at this contrail that is coming my way. We'll pass north of me, still east at the moment, but moving to the west and a little bit to the north by the looks of it. It's a twin jet, could be anything. Yeah, still relatively far away as well. Unlike this airplane, KLM flight 1166. Embraer 190, having arrived from Helsinki, Finland after 2 hours and 22 minutes. And here too, a no reverser landing. Yeah. They are taking the first exit though, which culminates into a beautiful butt shot. There we go. Austrian 777 headed to Newark. Okay, thank you guys for looking that up. In the meantime, the triple has passed a bit further and will probably show a bit more detail from this point of view. Yeah, can even see the red on the tail. And can we say, is the servus legible? I know it says servus, but can we read it? If it had passed directly overhead, the answer would have been yes. But we can definitely still make out the red of the tail of Austrian. Fabelhaft, sehr schön. That was nearly in the full digital zoom range. Made us miss the touchdown of an Embraer 175 arriving from Cardiff. And even applied reversers. Interesting. How one doesn't use reversers at all and the other applies the reversers. Not even an idle reverse, but actually spooling up the engine. And Russell taking back his seat on the lantern. Two airplanes visible in the foreground. An A320neo arriving from Belfast. EasyJet flight 23051, flight time 1 hour and 8 minutes. The airplane brand new, first flight June 2023. The airplane behind it is going to be a Vueling arriving from Barcelona, a regular A320. Also hearing a big airplane spool up on runway center. Not sure if that's an A350 or a triple or something. Let's have a look. Triple. Alrighty, righty. Yuri Stam asks about playtime. We did see playtime earlier in the show, didn't we? Or was that yesterday? I believe we did see it today. Now, this is Vueling, and our next airplane is going to be a Shamrock in the Irish rugby team special livery, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Quick butt shot first. And then it is back to the north for Shamrock flight 604, arriving from Dublin, A320 in the Irish rugby team livery. Flight time 1 hour and 4 minutes. The airplane you're now watching is 19 years old. First flight was in January 2005. And Joseph, who is tuning in from the Czech Republic, good day to you. And also Kenny, hi, tuning in from Mississippi. So you're up early then. Welcome one and all. We're waiting still for the Emirates A380. Pretty sure it must be in Dutch airspace already. To what runway has it been assigned? Dare I ask? Hey, 1-8 right, that is good news. Polderan, that is good news. So the entire quad squad landing on the runway we are standing next to then today. That is a nice way to start the week. Next up is lot flight 263 arriving from Warsaw, where this airplane left from an hour and 40 minutes ago. 13-year-old airplane, first flight August 2010. Now, wasn't that retro lot Embraer yesterday pretty? With the grey and bright blue, nice contrasty. Right, now let's see what is up next. Embraer 175 arriving from Humberside. KLM flight 1486. Flight time 41 minutes. 7-year-old airplane. First flight July 2016, and after that most likely the Anadolu Jet A321, or is that Turkish? No, that is Anadolu Jet. Also an Embraer 190 arriving from Basel, west of me. Now, the quick glances I took, didn't see it. Another idle, no reverse landing. Let's see. So somewhere over there should be an Embraer flying. But those are very small jets. Really hard to see. Approaching the glide slope in the distance from the right should be Anadolu Jet. Not sure how far ahead we can see today and if we are able to see it already. Let's see, probably somewhere, should become visible somewhere over there, if we are able to see it from over here already. Let's crouch behind the laptop, see what you guys are seeing. Nothing. Just a blank space. Yeah. Unless they switch on the lights, I don't think we will be able to make it out from over here just yet. Now, in that case, let's focus on something that we can see a bit better. There we go, Norwegian. Right, let's turn back so that the cables don't get tangled, and in the meantime the Anadolu jet has become visible. There we go. Anadolu jet flight 7768, it's an A321 arriving from Istanbul. Flight time 3 hours and 3 minutes. That is nominal. Somewhere in the distance. Second airplane is approaching behind this one. And that's KLM flight 1986, and BRU-190 arriving from Basel. For now, we'll have to make do with the A321 from Anadolu jet. The airplane is 11 years old already. The first flight was in February 2012. Luckily, the sun is shining again over here. Still a quiet Monday over here. Me and Sander are more or less the only ones over here. A few pedestrians, not the big crowds that were here yesterday. Which of course makes sense. Now that next airplane, only vaguely visible. So visibility to the north, again not the best. Definitely not comparable with yesterday, unfortunately. KLM flight 1986 is this, and BRU-190 arriving from Basel, where it left from on 1 hour and 3 minutes ago. The airplane is 14 years old. The first flight was in July 2009. And the Transavia A321neo is approaching left of me. I'm already watching to see if I can spot it somewhere. Also, let's not forget the airplane that is approaching Polderbaan. Unfortunately, don't have the A321 inside. It should be out there somewhere. We'll see it once it is where this Embraer is right now. Let's see, EasyJet A320neo arriving from A320 arriving from Manchester up next, and then another Embraer 190 arriving from JD's hometown Düsseldorf. Alrighty, next up, EasyJet flight 22169. Thought I saw other airplanes in the distance, but apparently apparently not. Airbus A320 arriving from Manchester, where this airplane departed from 51 minutes ago. It's the Jezua, G-E-Z-U-A, 13-year-old airplane, first flight January 2011. Behind it is going to be an Embraer 190 from KLM arriving from Düsseldorf, KLM flight 1856, and behind it, now flying base, is the Transavia A321neo arriving from Barcelona. Look at how tinted the cockpit windows are. Really exceptional. Surely they must be tinted. Dimmable. Now, Embraer 190 arriving from Düsseldorf. Ah, lights are on. There we go. So yeah, unless they turn on the landing lights early, landing traffic hard to see with the haziness to the north. But that is the number 2 in the top left. That is the brand new Transavia A321neo. Looking on flight radar, I can also see that the A380 is approaching from the east, north of Purmerend. Yesterday we were able to see it from over here, where it is flying right now already, but I don't think today we are going to be so lucky. It's already hard to see the Transavia A321neo. Right, KLM flight 1856, Embraer 190 arriving from Düsseldorf. A measly 100 nautical miles, and this airplane took 27 minutes to cross them. The airplane is 14 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in October of the year 2009. Is it Captain Willie? Looks promising, but no, the nose wheel is already lowering. Pity. On to the next. That was a wave initiated by the first officer. But I definitely waved back, of course. And now, making its third appearance on the channel, the Transavia A321neo, the YHZ. Don't know it by heart just yet. Returning from Barcelona. Flight time 1 hour and 49 minutes as we speak. Brand new airplane. Began flying, or at least had its first flight in last November. Cockpit seems to be nice and roomy. It's more spacious than the cockpits of the Embraers. It always looks a bit cramped when seeing those pilots in their cockpits. Little Transavia A321neo butt shot. Right, now let's turn back to the number 4 worldwide most tracked on flight radar, the Emirates A380. Where is it? Ever so slightly visible, still very hazy, but there it is. Now the number 3, tracked by 512 people. That must be all AMS live viewers. There she is. It is the completion of today's quad squad. We already saw 2 747s. We saw the A340. Wrapping it up is the Emirates A380. Now looking pixelated because I have applied a lot of digital zoom to get it in view somewhat decently. This is back to optical zoom. Let's keep it somewhere in the middle for the time being. Emirates Flight 147. It is a standard livery, the old standard livery. AMS Live members have access to the latest iteration, the ribbon tail. This airplane, normally speaking, at this point in the air has flown roughly 6.5 hours today, 6 hours and 47 minutes. The airplane began flying in July 2012. Making it 11 years old. Hey there, Jin Cathay Spotter, good to see you again. Hope all is well. Eva also back in time. All other viewers, welcome to the show. Now the glide slope is, the pipeline is filling nicely. If you look at 10 o'clock, vaguely visible in the distance, another airplane, Top Air Portugal, flight 670 A319, arriving from Lisbon. Right, gorgeous landing, lovely use of the reversers. Always love that spooling down, that woo sound, which was a bad mimicking, I know. Now, there's one more airplane coming that I am planning on sticking around for, and that is an Emirates Cargo 777 arriving from Aquadilla. Very likely candidate to land on this runway. For me, that is going to be the last airplane of the day. And And that airplane is now over the North Sea. East of the United Kingdom and west of the Netherlands still. The flaps have retracted. And now the taxi back to the gate begins for this behemoth. Meanwhile, Top Air Portugal also nearing the runway. Flight 670 A319 arriving from Lisbon. 21 years old, this airplane, first flight May 2002. Top, top, and away. So, if pilots from Wizz Air could be called wizards, could you call Top Air Portugal pilots step dancers? So many questions. Not a lot of separation between the airplanes. The next airplane is an EasyJet A319 flight 23441 arriving from Liverpool. Having flown nearly an hour to get here, this airplane is 15 years old. First flight was in May 2008. Gotta love the construction of the reversers on those A320s. 4 hatches opening up and closing simultaneously. I always think it looks cute, and it's something different than an entire circle moving to the back and back to the front. Not sure which is the most effective in braking, but and Han is tuning out. Thank you so much for joining, Han. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you on the next one, which I'm not yet sure if it is going to be later in the week or after the holiday. Depends a little bit on weather and how busy I am going to be. This is KLM flight 1534 Embraer 175 returning from Teesside or Darlington, where this airplane departed from 49 minutes ago. I'm hearing a helicopter. Trauma chopper, lifeliner, question mark, where is it? And that is a lifeliner, the trauma helicopter. E2 Embraer passing overhead on its way to Copenhagen. Quiet buggers. Going all ninja on me. right. Let's see. There is another airplane coming this way off the coast, west of me. But out of sight, unfortunately. Do have another contrail. Is that a 737? Might be. Moving from northeast to southwest and is flying west of me, a little bit north of me. Looks a lot like a 737. Let's see. Now, we haven't seen firefighters today. Also not when I was walking up here and setting up. Not sure if they did around a different perimeter than the polderbaan. Now, the next airplane to polderbaan, KLM flight 1474 737-900, arriving from Glasgow, is flying base somewhere over there. Let's see if we can find it. Flying just off the coast. Oh, jullie staan niet in beeld hoor.
Ik wil ook niet te hard roepen.
I think it is too nebulous to see the airplane flying base. We'll have to wait until it flies a bit further closer by and has turned final, I think. Bit of a pity. We did have better visibility earlier in the morning. Not too far behind the 737-900 is the A320 that I was looking for earlier, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, Air France flight 1640, and our last airplane, the Emirates triple, arriving from Aguadilla, is also approaching the coast. Now, very broadly speaking, this is where we should see the 737 appear sometime soon. Let me crouch behind the laptop and have a look at the laptop screen, see what you guys are seeing. Again, nothing to be seen just yet. Something is audible though. Outbound traffic passing overhead. Right, that is an Embraer 175 outbound to Gdansk in Poland. KLM flight 1919. Or was, I should say. By the time I was able to read my phone screen and flight radar, I lost track of it. Serves me right. Now back to the approaching airplanes. Finally, barely visible. Just goes to show how nebulous things have become. In the meantime, KLM 1474, Boeing 737-900 arriving from Glasgow, where this airplane departed from 1 hour and 2 minutes ago. The airplane 22 years old. The first flight was in October 2001. That's a month after 9/11, when you put it like that. Quite an old airplane already. Now, somewhere over there, also visible, not too far behind it according to flight radar, is an Air France A320 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Again, I'm doing the crouch behind the laptop. Oh yeah, at 10 o'clock visible, barely. Only barely. There's also an Embraer 190 arriving from Frankfurt from the east. I think that is going to precede the 777 arriving from the west. Right. Let's bring it a bit closer with some additional digital zoom. Alrighty. The Air France A320 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, flight 1640 up next. Also a big thank you to Catherine for your continued support. 6 months of membership already. Hope you still like it over in the lounge. Hope the seats are still to your liking. Thank you so much for your continued support there. This is Air France A320 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Air France flight 1640, flight time 46 minutes. Par for the course for Paris to Amsterdam. 5-year-old airplane, first flight February 2018. Okay, I think that is going to be the penultimate airplane of the day. Yeah, by the looks of it. Up next, KLM flight 1766, which should be somewhere out there. I'm not yet seeing it. Embraer 190 arriving from Frankfurt, 43 minutes of flight time, 12-year-old airplane, first flight January 2012. And after that, it's going to be the last airplane of the day, the Emirates Sky Cargo 777 freighter arriving from Aguadilla. And also a massive big thank you to Hans for 5 months of membership. Thank you for your continued support, Hans. Op nummer 6, on to number 6. He says, thank you so much, Hans, once again for your continued support. Hope the seats are still to your liking. If they're not, do let me know. And also a massive big thank you to Roy for his continued support. 9 months, one of the earliest members, and 9 months already. Beautiful things happen in 9 months. Great stream, he says. Thank you so much for your kind words, Roy, and thank you for your continued support. For you goes the same. If the seats are not to your liking, do let me know. Drop a message in the complaint box and I'll see what I can do to fix them up. In the meantime, the penultimate airplane of the day has arrived in view, and that is the Embraer 190 arriving from Frankfurt, KLM flight 1744. Flight time 44 minutes as we speak. 12-year-old airplane, first flight January 2012, so this airplane turned 12 this month. And with this, the last Embraer of the show, we can conclude that yet another day has gone by without us seeing Captain Wheelie, unfortunately. However, we did get to see quite a few beautiful contrails. Maybe even a better day for contrail spotting than yesterday. Not sure if Russell agrees. He has been keeping silent all the time. Or is this Russell coming? You guys tell me who is who. A fake out. Chase away the competition, have the place to yourself. What an opportunistic thing to do. Right, folks, here's the last airplane of the day. Emirates Sky Cargo flight 9912, returning from Aguadilla, where this airplane departed from 7 hours 55 minutes ago. It is a 777 freighter, 8 years old, first flight August 2015, with a little bit of added digital zoom, making it a bit more pixelated, but also a bit bigger. Alrighty, folks, that was the last airplane of today. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I had a wonderful time over here. Great start of the week, and I hope you guys felt the same. Thanks to everyone for liking the stream, and if you haven't done so already but did like the stream, don't forget to drop another like. It helps for other people who might be interested in content such as this to find the stream more easily. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks to everyone who became a member or got gifted memberships. Thanks to everyone for your super chats and super stickers. Thanks to everyone who might have purchased something from the merch store. Your support means the world to me, and this channel is nothing without you guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you, moderators, for moderating and keeping the chat friendly and accessible once more. I hope I am able to do another live stream later in the week, either on Thursday or on Friday, but I'm not promising anything just yet. Have to wait and see if I have the time for it and if the weather will allow me to. If not, hope to see you all again after my short ski break. See you on the next one. Take care, be safe, and speak to you soon. Bye for now.